You're 35. You have multiple failed long-term relationships. You clearly are fucked up somewhere because you haven't done your assessment and gotten right so that you can get what you want. And you got the passport bro bullshit. You got all the Instagram bullshit. You got the, you're going to be dying along with a cat bullshit. You don't have the 30 G's to freeze your eggs. Like all
you a 4 or a 10.
Yeah, like all this, you're not a 7. So I'm just saying, like,
at best,
based on what you, as a man, how do you assess what her response is?
When we start thinking about why, okay, let's say the whole scenario we got. The woman's 35. A guy just, she just had a 5-year waste of time of a relationship that went nowhere. This has happened to her before, right? You got the passport bros. You got all your eggs is drying up. Your shelf out. Yeah, you got all that noise. What I will say is I agree with something that she said was be sensible, right? And I think that you have to at some point start to say, how am I going to compete, right? You can't compete against every beautiful girl. No, you just can't, right? There's always going to be a prettier girl, and there's always going to be a new, younger, prettier girl than you. And at this rate, she might even be further ahead in her career, too, at this point, right? So how do you compete? You know what I'm saying? And realistically, just like how most men who get a lot of girls, there's two ways. There's the liars, and then there's the ones who just know women more. You need to know men more. It's all you got to do. Be receptive, analyze, and implement. You do those 3 things, you won't have a 5-year relationship that fails, most likely. Or at least you put yourself in a better winning, odds and position. So then you don't have to compete. Then if you are 35, I mean, technically speaking, you should probably have more of yourself together financially, which is a better starting point for a lot of men now, too. We're talking about the new noise, not the old noise. Them older heads be scared with women of money. These younger heads, we require women to have money. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different. But that's what I think.
I thought y'all don't care about our career and our money.
That's the old head.
That's the old heads.
Rico cares. He needs you to come with a bag.
Because you gotta think about it. Those old heads, they didn't. You gotta think about it. If you like, I said this over here. My college had like 60% women. So what do you think? I grew up as 18 years old in a college facility where obviously people are trying to go somewhere in their career. With 60% of my college filled with women, you think I'm gonna think my girl is not gonna be working? You're out of your mind. Now, if you go back to I don't know what the college stats was in 1990. If you were in the college in the 90s, I don't know what that stat is, but I doubt, I'm willing to bet everything I ever acquired in my life, it does not have 60% of women in there, in college in the 90s. So those old heads are not accustomed to women getting money like that or setting themselves up for money. The way I grew up, first of all, I grew up, unfortunately, with a bunch of single moms around me in my area who are all working and getting money. And then I'm going to college with a bunch of women in my area who are getting money.
I think it been that way in the 90s as well.
What, in college? I'm talking about kids being a quad. Well, an 18-year-old is not really a kid, but we consider it a kid. But 18 to 22-year-olds, you're growing up in a time where everybody is having the ability to work. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm thinking for me, like, if I'm 35 now, if a man is 35 10 years from now, you feel what I'm saying? It's not the same world. It's not the same world. You need to be sensible. So that's my opinion on that. Can you soak up? Yeah.
What about the heartbreak piece of it, right? I think the person is gonna kind of have to have this process. I think it's hard to just get up and shrug yourself off when you're dealing. Like, if you've dealt with heartbreak, right, or disappointment and things like that, I think it's a little bit more difficult to be like, okay, now if you are sitting there ruminating year 1, 2, 3 and fixated on the one that got away, it's problematic. But I think it's going to take a little bit of time for you to be like, okay, you know what? I got to move on. I don't think you just get up and be like, 5 years of my life, all right, it didn't work out, dust myself off and get back up.
That time that you take to yourself to be in your feelings, you can also take that time to, I'm not saying instead of, but also at the same time, like, figure yourself out. Like, what was it about you in that relationship or the past relationships that got you here. Like,
That's not what she's saying.
Yeah, but there's a part that we're missing too, because the part that we're missing is that she's the storyline is the man and her separated after 5 years, and
Broke up,
then
yeah.
he goes on to date somebody. We don't know how long that takes, and then 6 months into dating, after that they get engaged, and now she has an issue. So what we can say is, if he started dating day one after the breakup, that means they've been broken up for 6 months at the very, very least, which I highly doubt that's how that happened, right?
probably was dealing with shorty from before.
But what I'm saying is, how long? Like, the thing is, everybody want to pocket watch other relationships. I don't get it.
What do you mean?
Break that down.
Like, you pocket, like, it's like somebody, like, it's like if I'm watching Amanda getting money and I'm trying to count her pockets and see how she making money because she doing the same job as me. Well, she doing something better and something different because she's getting paid more. Same thing with relationships. You dating my ex. Okay, you getting more out of my ex than I got out of her. I'm not about to pocket watch your relationship or love watch your relationship.
It's a different formula.
Yeah, you doing it. You doing whatever this is better than I was doing. So I'm not going to take that personal. Guess what? You figured out the key to the code. You know what I'm saying? I only had door number 1. You got to door number 5. You winning. Salute. But if it keeps on happening, then that means I need to be a better locksmith.
I get that. I get that.
I agree, but I also think that we have to look at this in stages. And Marie just brought it up. Like, you know, when you grieve, there's like stages of grief. So it's like you're gonna grieve the relationship. You're gonna go through whatever stages that is. I don't know, how long does it take? 5 months, 6 months, or whatever.
I don't know. Everybody's different. I don't know.
I mean,
First
for
of all,
a
Aaron
5-year
doesn't have
relationship,
heartbreaks.
I would.
That's one.
No, but I would think that for someone you've been with for 5 years, it's gonna take some time. That's what I'm saying, and I know it's gonna take some time. But just make sure that's not all you're doing. You're not just sitting around grieving, being depressed. Make sure you getting some self-care in there. Make sure you figuring yourself out. That's what I was saying. I know that's not exactly what Marie was saying.
So look, let's check this out, right? So let's ask we're gonna ask this question. So we're gonna ask this question so we can actually build some perspective for the audience and the viewers, for those watching, right? Is there, and if there is, what is? But is there basically a draft period for you to get a ring in a relationship or, you know, in life for, you know, women or men?
Absolutely. I think that, and Alan gave literally the best example, calling it a draft, because I don't think you can go into something and prematurely want a ring because you're going to be disappointed. You know, just like he just said, going in, you're a sophomore. When did LeBron play his senior year in high school?
He played. He didn't play any. He didn't play any college.
No college.
He was the last one to do that.
Exactly. So LeBron, and we know that is LeBron. So in high school, cool. LeBron could have that type of expectation to get drafted out of high school, but everybody else can't. You know, I think that we have to look at delusion. We got to look at reality, because if you were a senior and you were good, but you weren't good enough for the league, you got to go to college and play some college ball and develop your game, because otherwise now you're delusional. You know, and you get into your first year, you think about entering a draft. All the you know, like Mel Kipers and all of them are saying, no, you're not ready yet. Your coach is saying, good, but not good enough. Okay, you like, cool. Second year, same thing. Like, when it's getting between that second and third year, you really got to start figuring out, well, what if I'm not good enough for the league? You may go ahead and see your way through, get your degree, finish your 4th year, maybe a red shirt 5th year or whatever. And now you got one chance.
Go to a combine, become a free agent.
Right. Like you literally just got one more chance, but you've had a lot of time to assess your game. You've had a lot of time to figure it out. You've had a lot of time to look at your prospects. And if ain't shit popped off, now what?
And that is why I would suggest.
Then you go overseas.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You go overseas. Passport bros.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
That's a good point. But this is what I say, you know, to younger women. And, you know, some women might get upset with me saying this, but you can't play with your young years. I don't care how you want to tell yourself that we got to have our hot girl summer, we got to do what we want to do. It's cute until you see all your other friends around you getting married. You see everybody's life is growing into a direction that you're still in the club at 38, 35. You're still in the club and you saying, damn, you done been in everybody baby shower and you done been 12 bridesmaids, and no ring is coming. So this is, and it's unfortunate that I got to say that, but this is what happened. And them dresses expensive.
Start rejecting the bridesmaids offers.
Girl, I got so many bridesmaid dresses before I got my ring, so it's not fun. So my thing is that, don't play with your young years. Those are your best years, yes. And also as you get older, it's great years too in a different way. But don't play with your young years. If you're going to waste your time just being a hot girl, sleeping with him and him and him, and to each his own, to each his and her, to each his own. No judgment here, but I'm just saying that you have to consider your years, and you can't expect a man to see you running from Miami every year. You in Dubai, you doing every single thing that give nothing as wife material, and then expect to be married.
You can't go to Dubai.
Can't expect that. You could go to Dubai and get pissed on if you want to.
Oh wow!
What? Wait,
that's what they do. You can do whatever you want to do.
Dubai getting pissed on.
That's not every situation, but I'm just saying, everyone have different things that they're doing in their lives, right?
What's the correlation there?
You don't know the correlation?
That's
about the pissing?
There's a narrative
stereotype,
that women are flying over there and being urinated on for a hefty bag.
A hefty bag.
I actually just saw. Well,
Really?
that's because you're young.
Wow.
I knew you were gonna say that.
It ain't because she's young. It's her age going over there.
No, they were going over there since before I was her age. They was over there.
No, but I'm just saying that, so young women have to consider themselves. They have to think about their time. Whether y'all want to tell yourself y'all got time, there is no time. The time is to develop your career, develop yourself, and that's cute. But if you come from a family and you looking to want to get married and have children, if you take your whole youth and you in the club drinking liquor, smoking hookah, nothing is wrong with doing that, ladies. I'm not judging y'all. But if that is your whole agenda from 21 to 35, don't be mad if that man don't see you as a marriage material. That's just it.
And the thing is, too, I'm gonna give a flip perspective, right? So I love the fact that we're using the analogy to compare like a relationship with, NBA and high school and college basketball, for this matter. Men need to understand that there's a reason why the new college rule of 1 year is mandatory was implemented, because there were a lot of flops that came straight out of high school to the league. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when LeBron was the last one, every girl is not LeBron. Every girl don't get married in 1 year. Every girl doesn't get proposed to in 6 months. Every girl is not worth that. Some of them got to have that 1 year of college eligibility done. You know what I'm saying? You got to do that so you can test it out to see, are they truly built for whatever this relationship is going to cultivate to be. That's just my perspective on it. But if you do fall off, ladies, there's a reason why they have something called the G League.
What's the G League?
There's something called the G League.
Like side chick or, mistress.
No, that's not. No. G League is more so like this. Okay, you
can rebound.
Yeah, you. So this is the thing, right? So a lot of people people go to the G League for two reasons.
And overseas.
Overseas is different, right?
No, but this is an option, ain't it?
Yeah, but overseas is never, like, I won't say never, but the respect that you play overseas and get into the NBA is very hard.
It's hard.
You're just going to be an overseas player, right? But for the ladies that think that they were in the game, right? You got drafted. Somewhere you fell off. So they sent you to the G League. That means you got to go practice, get your game back up, and then we could bring you back up. Or maybe you got suspended. All right, you in timeout. You just got to sit, do your time. The problem is, if you don't practice while you in the G League, when you get back to the NBA, they're going to send you out the league. Yeah. Because it's like, oh, we thought you was the wife material, but you're not. We gave you a chance to sharpen your tools. You played around. You wanted to be 38 in the club now because you have this the first time you've been single. Now you done up. Now you out the game for good.
Damn.
Retire your jersey.
It's done. It's over with.
Based on what Tia's saying.
And I'm going to say this. And I've been married. And, now that I'm in the single market, it's not easy. And I'm the 35 to 40. So now, I said my age. Anyway.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
What is the youngest age of a man you would attempt to take serious?
38.
Oh, damn. Oh. So what if he was like 32?
I don't want that. That's a child. You go play with your mother. Don't play with me. You ain't gonna waste my goddamn time. As a child, a 32-year-old ain't gonna come mess up the rest of my summers. Let me tell you something right now. Let me say this real quick. When you are 40 years old, you have a certain amount of summers left. I've heard this once before, and I believe it. When you 40, you don't want to play with your summers. I do not have time for no 30-year-old to come tell me some lies and play with my life. Especially if he hasn't had experience with children and marriage and life. I don't need it. And I don't want a divorcee either that just came out of a divorce. I don't want those men either. He can stay where he at because he's not looking to be married again. So he going to come waste my time too. That's why I tell young women that are 35 and don't have children, stay away from recent men that are divorced. They're going to waste your time. You're never going to get that ring.
Really?
No.
I might just do it again.
To play. You're a toy.
Mm-hmm.
He has not got
After
the
dealing
chance.
with a
He
divorce,
done been
ain't
with his
nobody
wife.
think about marriage.
Think about it. I just divorced. I've been with a miserable wife or an unhappy marriage, whatever it is. And I meet Amanda. I'm not going to marry Amanda. I'm going to have fun.
You might want to.
And get married. I'm trying to have fun with two Amanda. Or three Amanda.
On people, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm trying to have fun with three of Amanda. I'm not trying to deal with the marriage feeling.
Yo, but
Amanda
the
said it might be
years.
so good, it might change your
I'm about to
mind.
say,
it
that's
might
the real,
Mm-hmm.
yo, the
6
real
months.
and the real thing,
It's
bro.
6 months, honey.
Right, it's 6 months.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, a lot of men, when they divorce men, they're not looking to jump back in. They're not.
I don't think they was looking to get in to begin.
No, don't say
So
that.
like
Don't
now,
say that.
so but that's what I'm trying to say. Like the power is in you. like
say
if
that.
you know,
Honestly, Rico, I think that's you. If that's how you look at it,
That's how
I
you
feel
look
like
at it.
that
I'm
may be
Yo,
a you thing.
every relationship that all right, now I'm just speaking on me. Every relationship that I got in, like I don't know the last time I said to the girl, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I want to be serious and exclusive with you. I just ended up here looking around. Like,
I just
damn,
ended
I'm
up
in a
here.
real relationship right now.
no, that-
How did she get me here? Oh, she's good. I love you too.
Hell no.
Like you feel me?
But
Like
that's-
I love you too.
Rico, that's a man. But
That means y'all didn't know
I love you too.
Rico,